Welcome to the video, folks. Turbo here with a slightly different video to the usual. Now, I'm a big fan of technology, and this whole idea of game streaming has been around for a while, not really taken off. There's been a few services that did things quite well. OnLive is a good one, if you remember that. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know whether that merged into something else or if it just died off completely. But that was a service which was probably the closest at the time that did pretty well. We've got Stadia. Stadia's shit, but let's move on. Today I want to talk about GeforceNOW. The footage you are seeing right now is GeforceNOW, running at 1080p, 60 FPS. And of course, this is Metro. And I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, really. I think it's a really good idea. I know Nvidia's having a bit of an issue with publishers deciding that for some reason you're not allowed to play the games that you've already paid for, and so are removing the games from the service. I don't know whether that's so that they can try and get a better deal, or whether they're probably going to try and create their own version of the service. That won't surprise me at all. It will not surprise me at all if there turns out to be like an Activision live, Activision stream or something in the works. I think game streaming is going to kind of go the way of, like, you know, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. There's just going to be a shit ton of services all to be subscribed to if you want to get particular games. That, I suppose, does give consumer choice, but it's just going to end up like cable television again, where it's like, oh, you want to play this game? Well, you better subscribe to this specific service. I don't think that's cool at all. And GeforceNOW also has a free option. Now, not a lot of the other ones can say that they've got a decent free option. Now, it can be quite restrictive. You've got an hour of game time. That might be perfect for the casual gamer who's like traveling via train or in a hotel and just wants to kill a few minutes playing a quote-unquote proper game rather than a mobile phone game. That's going to be great, that free service. The paid-for version of the service only costs $5 or £5, depending on where you are. And to me, that's an absolute bargain. £5 for access to the games you already own, absolutely anywhere, with like no other strings. I think that's really good. And while I might not be the type of person to get the most use out of it, certainly right now with things like the lockdown, it's nice to be able to have your games absolutely anywhere, because the most social you could be now is with people that are in your own house. So rather than being locked away in my room, I can actually be downstairs, use a basic laptop, and play something really quite complex that laptop normally wouldn't be able to do, and then I can play that with people in the same room as me. Whereas if I was on my PC and somebody else was on the laptop, they probably won't be able to be in the same room as me, because there's not an awful lot of space where I conduct my work, not an awful lot of space for several people to be in here to play video games. So being able to stream it downstairs would be really quite good, quite beneficial, and certainly a lot more sociable than being on my own up in a room. Of course, the main benefit really is going to be for people that only have a pretty simple PC or a pretty simple laptop. Hell, you wouldn't even need either, technically, as you could always create a Steam account on your mobile phone, buy games that way, and then stream it to your phone in the greatest possible quality because your phone's not technically playing it, or your low-power laptop isn't technically playing it, or your TV isn't technically playing it. So in actual fact, there's quite a few people this could potentially be beneficial for. And my experience with GeforceNOW has been nothing short of impeccable. There's virtually no input lag. Now I've tried to record it sort of here. I know it's not ideal, but as you can see, it is incredibly responsive. Not at all like what I've seen with Stadia, with there being like, you know, in some cases like 1 or 2 seconds worth of delay. This is virtually instant, and at no point so far has it felt weird to me while playing stuff. Even over Wi-Fi, I played Wreckfest with an Xbox controller hooked up to my phone, and I played Wreckfest via Wi-Fi, which is supposed to be slightly more, you know, unreliable in terms of speed and quality, and it was absolutely flawless. Occasionally, when I was sort of moving around the house in different spots, it would change quality for a split second, but there was never any input lag during that change, just like a slight pixelation, like when a YouTube video changes to a lower quality just because, you know, signal or what have you. And you know, as soon as it recovered, it went straight back to being completely flawless. So I was very impressed by that. I haven't tried it on like a really bad connection or like really far away from the Wi-Fi of my router, but yes, so far just in general usage around the house, it has been stellar and really surprised me as a quote-unquote PC master race purist type of person. You know, quality is super important to me, and I wouldn't be at all interested if the input lag delay was really terrible. But no, it was really quite good. The only downside is not being able to go in any higher than 1080p at the moment. And while that might sound like first world problems, I do have a 2K monitor, so if I play something in 1080p, it's like the difference between 720 and 1080p on a normal monitor. It's just a little bit, it's just not quite right, and just looks a bit weird. So I would like to have the option of being able to go to 2K. I know some people are going to be wanting 4K as soon as possible, and while that's probably a thing that will come at some point, probably only in the paid version, kind of like how Stadia is. Not that Stadia always has 4K either. But yeah, I'd like to have 2K as an option. That would be nice. But yeah, guys, didn't want to make a huge long video about it. It's just something that I found pretty interesting, and I hope to see more of it, because this is pretty neat. This is pretty cool, and I could 100% get behind this. So, once again, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.